is a holistic health. Oh God, right, there we go. Holistic health expert, and she is based in South Oxfordshire. She said before. She's got a passion for educating people about the 90% of them that's not human. So she's a qualified emotional transformation coach, Reiki master, and an expert in the microbiome and nutrigenetics. She's spoken at conferences and events around the world. She's going to be talking to us about the incredible human microbiome and its functions. So because today's world is full of stress, toxins, ultra-processed foods, medications, sedentary lifestyles have a huge impact on our gut health. But you don't want to hear any more from me. I will pass you over to Kim. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne. I really appreciate you inviting me to be a speaker on this, and it's so lovely to meet so many new people up and down the country as well. So that's wonderful. So I'm just going to line up some slides because we've got lots to cover in this short period of time, and I've got notes in front of me. So I want to make sure that we get all the information that you need today. So can everyone see those slides okay? Cool, excellent. So as Anne said, my name is Kim Bradley from Success with Kim. Now, as you can see, there are many strings to my bow, and that's because I've worked in holistic health for around 25 years, and I've had many, many roles during my career. But we've got a lot to cover, so I'm going to get stuck straight in. I think human beings are amazing. Do you not think so? We are, aren't we? Aren't we amazing? We are multi-layered, complex beings with incredible talents for creating magnificence or destruction. We often take for granted this fabulous machine that is our body. It houses our mind, our emotions, and enables us to work, to play, to laugh, to attend Zoom meetings, and do all the things that our mind desires. Now, I used to be a massage therapist for years and years and years, and I would place my hands gently on someone's body and feel in my heart what an incredible gift it was to have the privilege of ironing out the tension and rejuvenating the physical being. I used to think that the body was all there was: skin, bones, muscles, blood vessels, organs and nerves. And that was until 2016 when I attended a lecture in Vienna that absolutely opened up my mind. It was here that I began my journey into the invisible world that lives on us and in us. A world that doesn't have a voice, but definitely shows and makes its presence felt in your everyday life. I became the supporter of it and a person who gave it a voice by teaching people about the amazing functions it has. Now, I've since trained many health professionals about it, and I've armed them with information to educate as many people as possible about their invisible world, a world that has more power over your health than you can ever know. And as a team of health enthusiasts, we set out about creating events up and down the country to rooms full of people, many of which who had not heard of the microbiome back in 2016 when we first got started. And during the pandemic, we moved online and we was able to share our information to hundreds of people at a time. So what is this invisible world? Well, it's called the microbiome. So show of hands, have you heard of this term before? I should imagine most people have these days. But certainly they hadn't when we first started talking about it, but perhaps you might not have fully realised the importance of it. It is a microcosm of bacteria, viruses and protozoa that live on us and in us. And we carry around over 90 trillion microbes that make up about 90% of the total cells and gene expressions that help you function every day. So did you know that sat in your chair, you are only 10% human? Did you even think about that? It blew my mind when I first learned about this. what was I really massaging on the couch all those years ago? Was it a human being? Now, it's thought that we have around 10,000 different species, and it weighs around 4 kilograms. About 4,000 or more different species are present in our gut, and the right balance is crucial to our overall health. Your microbiome vastly differs in each region of your body. The dry, arid plains of your armpit, your forearms, require a very different set of microbes to the sweaty rainforest that's in your armpit. Even your digestive tract has specific microbes that do certain tasks. Now take a look at the tip of your finger. How many microbes do you think inhabit the space on your fingerprint? The answer is around 10 million. 10 million on the space of your fingerprint. So microbes are everywhere, and our aim is to cohabit with them peacefully and in harmony with the health of our whole organism. So our gut microbiome has several important functions. It's a key to a healthy immune system. It communicates to the brain via the vagus nerve and shares information about the lay of the land. Your gut is your second brain, and trusting your gut instinct can protect you from life or death. And it's involved in hormone production, digestion, and absorption. We're going to share more details about those aspects now. So, hormone production. Our microbiome is part of our endocrine system, which manages our hormones and our chemical balance. And this relates to how we feel and how we show up in the world. You know, how do you wake up in the morning and show up to your work, to your family, to your friends, to the world? 90% of your serotonin is made in your gut, and that's your happiness hormone. GABA is your hormone for calming and relaxing, and that brings you out of stress and anxiety. Melatonin is your deep sleep hormone, which encourages a sound, healing, and restorative sleep. Fertility and menopause hormones of estrogen and progesterone are regulated in the gut and can make monthly cycles and the transition to full menopause much, much easier when they're in balance. Oxytocin is your hormone for love, trust, and self-esteem, and this is key for healing mental and emotional trauma, yet it is controlled in part by your gut microbiome. And finally, we have dopamine for motivation. This enables us to take action towards your goals and whatever your objectives are. And the noradrenaline, which helps us to feel alert and have the energy for the stamina that's required to get the job done. So the right balance of these hormones is critical. Otherwise, we begin to feel demotivated. We lack energy. We feel depressed. We feel stressed. We feel anxious. And perhaps in women, we feel the ebb and flow of our fertility hormones, and we feel that they are ruling the roost. This doesn't have to be the case. And as you can see from the picture, some of it is down to our food choices, but as we'll see in a moment, not all food is created equal. Now, our microbiome is essential for the breakdown of our food into absorbable micronutrients, and they help to bind and eliminate heavy metals and toxins and withdraw them out of the system. They perform many housekeeping duties, and they maintain the integrity of the intestinal wall, which is the barrier between what is outside the body and what goes inside the body. Now, you may think that when you put food and drink in your mouth, it becomes inside the body. But actually, no. Your intestinal tube is officially outside of you until you have absorbed through your gut wall into your body. So your gut is outside, and then it's absorbed and it becomes inside the body. These helpful microbes also create many vitamins and they assist in the metabolic process of extracting energy from our diet. So they are really, really busy, and we should be grateful for these little critters every single day. So who does some gratitude? Does anyone here on this call do a bit of gratitude? Give some gratitude to your microbes next time you give your gratitude, because they are often forgotten. Now, just like any good film, you've got good guys and bad guys, and in your gut, it's no different. There are many battles going on inside your gut. There are land grabs, there's chemical warfare, and there's even mental manipulation of the human host's thoughts and behaviors. The state of your health and your actions can depend on who or what is in charge. When the balance shifts towards pathological bacteria in your gut, we call this dysbiosis. Now we are setting up the human body towards obesity, inflammation, autoimmune diseases, and other chronic lifestyle diseases. Now, have you heard of the term leaky gut syndrome? Who's heard of that term? A couple of you have heard. Oh, even Dave's heard of leaky gut syndrome. Well done, Dave. Now, in a healthy gut, you have a nice, thick mucus lining on the intestinal walls. In this mucus, friendly bacteria live. Some even encourage you to make more mucus. They are quite content. They're looking after and maintaining the integrity of the wall, and they are taking up all of the real estate in your intestines. Now, what happens when your diet and your lifestyle strips away the mucus lining? Stress being a big factor in that, alcohol a big factor in that, many, many things a big factor. When we eat in such a way, and we have a stressful life in such a way, we encourage the growth of pathogenic bacteria. Now the bad guys have moved in and they're taking up residence. They secrete chemicals that thin the mucus lining further, and a specific chemical called an endotoxin, which breaks the delicate chain links of the cells of the intestinal wall. The damage is done and a microscopic perforation in your intestines has appeared. Now we have a situation where bad bacteria, endotoxins, and undigested food can seep into the bloodstream. This in turn sets up systemic inflammation, which can cause damage to your blood vessels. It can cause heart disease. It can land in your joints and make them painful. It can cause brain fog. And as your body tries to sweep these toxins and chemicals to safety, it creates fat. Your body soaks them up like a sponge to store them away safely. Obesity is actually a disease of inflammation and poor gut health. So now we are getting to the nitty-gritty. What causes us to foster pathogenic bacteria rather than the helpful ones? 21st century life, basically. 21st century life. It's what we eat, what we drink, what medication we take, sedentary lifestyles, lack of exercise. As I said, stress, big causal factor of dysbiosis, but also how we're born as well, what kind of start we've had in the world. And I could say much more on all of these topics, but we're going to focus on one that you can begin to change, one that you can have an effect on, and that is diet. But as we will see, not all food is created equal, and we are not just what we eat, we are what we absorb. Now, it is true that we are part of a huge nutritional experiment. We must understand this. Over the last 60 years, the way food is manufactured, farmed, and prepared has changed so much. Gone are the days where you just pop down to your local shop and bought a few meals at a time. Now we can do a whole week's shop. We can even do a whole month's shop. And that's thanks to frozen, preserved, bottled, canned, and processed foods. It's not rocket science to see how much food has changed. Foods have become shelf stable. We demand longer shelf lives for our food. You know, food lasts for 2 or 3 years or more, even in certain situations. We have foods that are high in carbohydrates. We have foods that are high in calories but empty of nutrition, like pizzas and other kinds of takeaway foods. We have phytonutrients being stripped out. We have low fat and low sugar alternatives being heavily advertised, full of artificial sweeteners and other kinds of chemicals. Do you know, on that point, more pounds are advertised on artificial foods than on natural foods. I think it's a ratio of about 8 to 1. Our microbiome has simply not been able to keep up with the rate in which man has changed the way we eat. Think about it. As a human, we eat plant or animal and nothing else. As you go down your supermarket aisles, I want you to think to yourself, take the blinkers off, how much looks exactly like a plant or from an animal? The more processed it is, the more we move away from our natural diet. Your good microbes love fibre. They love old-fashioned vegetables. They love proteins, nuts and seeds, whole grains, beans, lentils, and healthy fats. Now, your bad bacteria are quite happily dining out on sugar, processed foods, fake foods made in laboratories, and all that jazz. It really is a party going on in your gut for them. Now, I'm sure most of you do eat plenty of fruit and vegetables on this call, which is excellent. However, are we getting all the nutrients from our farmed foods? That's what we have to ask ourselves. To achieve successful crops, there is a heavy reliance on chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and all manner that are destroying the complex microorganisms of the plants and the soil they're grown in. Not to mention that food is often picked way too early before the nutrients have even ripened. Think of green bananas, rock hard avocados. Apples, they store them for up to 2 years, keep spraying them to take the fungus off before they even appear in your shops. You'll be surprised at what goes on. So I've got a little quiz for you. You can put in the chat. Imagine you're going to the supermarket for a quick lunch and you opt for a nice, healthy, pre-packed bowl of salad. How many salad bowls would you need to eat to get the same nutrients as a salad made 50 years ago? How many do you think it is? 250. That's a lot of salad. 20, 5, 10, 5, 5. Exactly 3, 15. Great guesses, great guesses. This is the answer. Here we go. 47. Is that shocking? Is the answer shocking? Or can you taste the difference? Can you remember what tomatoes and carrots tasted like when you was a child? If you're as old as I am. The things just don't taste the same as they used to. Now, here we can see a myriad of common ailments that have a basis of metabolic dis-ease. It's not a case of who do you know with one of these conditions, but how many do you know? In fact, how many people do you know that have optimal health? And what is optimal health anyway? Now, my father had several of these conditions as he got into his older years, and this might resonate with you, but he saw several different medical specialists for each one, and none of them spoke to each other, and none of them thought, what's the common cause here? Not one. It was a specialist for this and a specialist for that and a department for that, because that's the way the medical system is run. Everyone has a speciality, and very rarely do you find them talking to each other. So let's focus on the good news now. We know that the root cause of most of today's health challenges is the health of our microbiome. And we know that when our gut is, we know that when our gut is balanced with good bacteria in charge, we've got brilliant energy. We sleep deeper, we feel less stressed, less anxious, we're happier, we're balanced, we're productive, we recover quicker, we're more resilient, we manage our weight, and we feel healthy and well. So what should our health goal be? Well, that is up to you. What I do is I help people towards what I call elite health. Elite health is your pinnacle of wellness, no matter what age you are or what cards you've been dealt in life. It's about your daily choices compounded over time that will take you towards optimal metabolic function, or your daily choices are going to take you towards metabolic dysfunction. The compound effect works for everyone, and the choice is yours. Wishful thinking is not going to help you, though. It's going to take an investment of your time, an investment of your mental energy, an investment of money, respect for the impressive machine that you are living in, and a little bit of know-how. So when I begin working with someone, what we want to know first is, where are we starting from? What's the benchmark? You know, what's the lay of the land? And I'm offering you a chance to do this health check for free. And you can visit my website. It takes about 5 minutes to fill it in. So the results will graph you out 9 body systems from poor to very good. And it will give you a good indication of how you're living in the world, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. And then we can discuss a route to take you towards elite health. And today I'm going to share briefly 2 solutions that I can help with. The first solution is a complete gut reset over a 21-day period. The second solution is about topping up your nutrition daily, filling in the gaps and the essential missing minerals and nutrients. So solution 1 is Purify, a focused 21-day gut reset program. Now, some of you may have done this program before. I know Anne is doing it right now. So feel free to put in the chat any benefits that you've perceived so far, if there's any. Purify was featured on Channel 4's program, How Healthy Is Your Gut? And it received high acclaim. And I can send you a clip to the video about the results. If you wanted to see that video clip, just let me know and I'll get that to you. So what is Purify? It's a high protein, high phytonutrient and low carbohydrate nutrition plan. It is transformative supplements, 5 key supplements to speed up the gut restoration. It is light exercise guidelines, and it actually is one-to-one support with me throughout the whole program. The program helps to detoxify your body. It helps to pull out heavy metals and toxins, especially from the joints and from your fat cells. It helps to cleanse and repair the intestinal tract. It works to rebuild the mucus lining and repair any leaky gut going on. It works to build up your friendly bacteria, and whilst reducing that pathogenic bacteria, putting the good guys back in control should they have lost it for you. During the program, you eat Purify friendly foods. And these foods is, a list of gut-friendly foods, and they're all full of natural fibers and prebiotics. And I provide you with plenty of recipe ideas to get you going. It's actually very simple, straightforward cooking. It's really easy. And I have a dedicated web portal with everything you need. You can set a start date and you receive 30 emails to take you through the program and beyond into your gut maintenance. You have downloadable program guides, food lists, and a supplement schedule. And here's an example of the emails you receive. They tell you exactly what to do today, your supplement schedule. They give you a tip of the day. They give you a recipe of the day. and exercise tips and tricks, and an education zone which continues to teach all about an elite health lifestyle and gut health and the importance of it as you're going through the program, so you feel very well educated by the end. Now, we see consistent results when people do the program. It's not a weight loss program per se, but because it draws out toxins in the fat, commonly people lose between 5 and 15 pounds, depending upon kind of how much weight they need to lose in the first place. But you definitely see better sleep, more energy, mental acuity. If you've got digestive complaints like bloating, acid reflux, they all improve, indigestion, that sort of thing, bowel issues. Aches and pains reduce, blood pressure normalizes or stabilizes, blood sugar stabilize, hormones return back to a normal balance, skin glows, people feel happy and motivated. And people share the results. We've had so many people share the results. They want to shout their results from the rooftops because they can feel really quite a difference. But one thing I'm aware of is that you have to be in the right mindset to change your diet and follow a program. And sometimes life is busy. Sometimes there's a number of events going on in the calendar, a holiday coming up, or any number of reasons why now is not a good time to do a specific program. So what can you do if the timing's not quite right? Well, solution 2 could be the best fit for you right now on your journey to elite health. And this solution is very easy and it can fit into any schedule you have. It's simply a case of boosting up your nutrition with a super smoothie every day, something that you can have for breakfast or lunch or a snack in between your meals. This is a phytonutrient powerhouse blend, which is high in microbiome supporting fibers and helps to rebuild the mucus lining and feed your friendly bacteria. It's high in essential phytonutrients. You have 24 grams of vegan protein and 24 vitamins and minerals in the shake, plus powerful antioxidants and those important micro and macronutrients, things like iodine and selenium and copper and so on. So when I say that, let's go back to that a minute. When I say that this is cleaner than anything you can buy in a shop, you can read that at the bottom. That's because the company that I work with, who are Synergy Worldwide, they test all of their plant material for contaminants. In fact, they can tell if there's one drop of contaminant in 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools. So this really is clean, powerful, potent, liquid nutrition that your body is just going to be able to absorb and put it to work straight away and help you to feel well nourished with a balanced microbiome. So when you invest in you and you make some lifestyle adjustments, maybe you supplement with the right kind of nutrients, you begin to create biome health. And that means total health. And so I want you to think about this. What would your life look like if all your body systems were functioning at a higher level than they are at present? What could you create with an abundance of energy? What would it mean to have less worry about aging or time off sick? Imagine the compound effect of your daily choices and believe that you can have an elite health life to partner with the wealth that you're working hard to create every day. So how much does it cost to invest in your health? What price can you put on health in any case? Is there a price you can put on your health? The gut reset, this is how much you would need to budget. It's normally £286, but my discount to you guys is £257. That's all the supplements, the emails, the support, the one-to-one, all the way through. As Anne will testify, I am on your case to make sure you have success in the program. I even check that you're doing a poo. So like there's lots of things that we will talk about to make sure you are successful. And then a daily green smoothie is the other option, which you can take every day. It's £3.60 and it can replace a meal for you. It can replace a breakfast. It can replace a lunch. It's really easy. This is not a huge investment, but some things are simple to do and some things are simple not to do. That is the nature of the compound effect. So to begin with, start with the first step and take my free health check and then take it from there one step at a time. And I hope that I can join you on the road less travelled. So thank you for listening. I hope you found it all interesting. And if there's time, I'll take some questions.
Kim, that was fantastic. Thank you. I learned an awful lot. Well, it's not difficult, but I learned an awful lot about what you were saying. And yeah, I think it was very beneficial. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions here? Rob, can you just check the chat for us, please, and see whether there's anyone who's got a burning question to ask him?
Nikki, no questions in the chat, but Nikki's got a question.
Yeah, that was a really great talk. Thank you very much. Really interesting. But on your clean foods, I was just briefly glancing at it. There's a lot of those foods that are high in oxalates, and I wondered how it fits in with people who have a tendency to be stone forming.
Well, I think obviously if people are aware of any dietary limitations that they might have, then that's something that, you know, we can adjust the food program. That's no problem at all. But in terms of people who have a normal, healthy, you know, we've not had anyone that's had any problems with the food program. We've been using it for 7 years. I think because it's the right foods that feed your microbiome, plus the supplements that you're taking. I mean, this is just natural foods. So if your body is in balance, there should be no reason why anyone couldn't consume these foods.
Right. Okay.
It's only if your body is not in balance that it could cause a problem. But people would know that, and we could adjust the diet accordingly. Same as we can adjust it for a vegan diet, a dairy-free diet, but you know, where there's no gluten during the program anyway. So,
thank you. Anybody else have a question for Kim?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, hello, Phil. Nice to see you.
Kim, thank you very much. It was really interesting. I've just got two things. One is a comment, and that is that when you say that the further we get away from the natural food, the worse it is. There seems to be a bit of a. Just seems odd to me that that's being said, but and at the same time you're showing us bottles and powders and stuff that's clearly been highly processed.
well,
that was one thing, and the other was, can you put a link to your website in the chat, please?
yeah, I will do. Yeah, it's a fair point that you make, Phil. Well, it's a question that I've had before, and I suppose one could say that all processed food isn't made equal either. But what I can say is that the supplements are plant-based. So if you look at the ingredients list, you will see that they are plant powders and plant extracts and herbal extracts, you know, plant fibers. So it's not sort of like a chemical laboratory going on here. So yeah, they are processed, of course they are, but they're done in such a way that they are bringing together certain foods that your body can utilize and absorb and have a positive impact in your body, if that makes sense, like a positive processed food, if there is such a thing. Now, you can heal your gut with food alone, but it takes a lot longer. It takes a lot more discipline, and you know, you need to give it a lot longer time. Most people can't be bothered to wait 6 months to get the results they're looking for. So taking supplements that are made in a specific way reduces the time, because you're able to provide so much nutrition in there that your body can start getting to heal with that immediately. So it just depends on what you're looking for, really. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you. Any more questions for Kim? Okay.
Sorry. I don't, Sarah
Thanks.
had a question.
Hi, thank you very much, Kim. I think you've highlighted an area. There was, put it this way, when you started talking, you kind of know a little bit of it, and then I just went, wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information in there to digest, excuse the pun. My daughter's doing bioscience, and I looked at what she had to learn this year, and I didn't even get past sort of the second or third line. The question I had for you is that I understand that as your metabolism changes, and particularly women who are going through symptoms of menopause, which is now we're able to actually say the word in public and in business, and the support that you give, honestly, how easy is it to adjust your mindset to actually follow the program when you are busy? You know, how the support that you give sounds amazing, but how is there, you know, how easy is it and how difficult is it? What's the reality check on actually thinking about and actually following all of this?
Yeah, I understand. Obviously, it does depend where people are at. And I always say to people that, you know, the closer you follow the program to the letter, the bigger the results you're going to get. And we can work through challenges on a one-to-one along the way. I mean, you know, one of the strings to my bow is I'm an emotional transformation trainer as well. So I can always do some tapping work or something like that to work through things along the way. There's lots of tools we can put to it. But even if I've had someone that didn't follow the program 80% because she was in a really bad way with PTSD and fibromyalgia and all sorts of complications going on, and she still had incredibly impressive results for even though she had slip-ups, you know, along the way. And we cover that in the emails. We actually cover what happens if you slip up. What's the mindset adjustment that you can make to get yourself back on track? Because we know what can happen. Life can throw you a curveball that you weren't expecting. So, you know, we just manage the situation. You know, we manage what we're dealt with, basically, and we just do our best. We can only do our best, can't we?
Absolutely, absolutely. And at the end of the day, you know, we all go out and buy multivitamins. I buy a multitude of vitamins, etc., off the shelf. So when you're talking about investing the money, you know, and you're thinking about it, and all the gym time I haven't been to the gym for my gym membership, but it's that whole mindset that it's an investment in your time and your mind, and financially it's reasonable, but taking that actual investment is really something worth considering.
It is an investment, and I think if you've got it, if you're investing your money in the right way, you will yield the results because it will appear in your work. So you will reclaim the money back in other ways. You know,
it's the energy side that always challenges me at this stage. You know, that's the thing, as you do mature, certain foods don't agree with you anymore, particularly, for instance, bread, things like that. You know how it makes you feel, but the main focus, I think, for business people is always about energy levels, focus levels. I really genuinely believe that, and anything that can enhance that, bring it on, is what I say, apart from coffee.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Kim. That's really useful, great advice and tips, and I will obviously be doing the free health check. Our next meeting is with lovely Jane Tyson, who's on our call today. And in addition to all her good work that she does with sustainability, she will be talking about how to use Canva in presentations, and to give us a great idea of what we can do and how best to use it to serve us. So that's on the 16th of November. So please book that in your diaries and save the date, and you can book on our website, which is wearebiz.co.uk. We welcome feedback with this group. We're very open, as you probably have seen today, and we would welcome feedback on our LinkedIn posts, Instagram, Twitter, and we also have a YouTube channel that Dave in due course will send everything out to you so that you can share that if you'd like. And the last thing today, before saying goodbye and thank you very much, is Anne has an invite which is going to go completely against Kim's advice today, because we're going to have a social event. But I'll leave it to you, Anne, to invite everybody.
Yes, it's actually, it's a little bit ironic because I am following Kim's